Welcome back to another video or audio if you're listening in an audio format. My name is Justyna. Welcome to my channel. If you're a returning viewer or listener, welcome back and thank you for joining me today. So here today we are continuing with the weekly horoscopes, and this week the highlight is, of course, the new moon in Libra happening on the 21st at 28 degrees of Libra, cardinal earth sign. And we've got Neptune returning back into Pisces for the very last time before it fully moves into Aries in the early stage of 2026. So it's a big month, big shifts of energy, also new beginnings as well of the new moon energy. So as always, you'll find the timestamps in the comment section and description box down below this video. So here I follow Western astrology tropical zodiac, and these horoscopes are most accurate for your ascendant sign. However, you can also watch them for your moon sign or your sun sign if you wish, just to get a bigger picture and to get a wider perspective upon your life. So thank you very much, and let's begin. Hello, Aries, and welcome to your weekly horoscope. So here we start the week with Mars and Mercury, Mars your ruler, and Mercury conjunction at 19 degrees of Scorpio. Scorpio is a fixed sign. This is happening in your eighth house. Of course, since it is also influencing your rising sign ruler, you will feel this energy on a deeper level. It could manifest as generally a very strong urge to share your ideas, your thoughts with others. This energy, because it's happening in Scorpio, it might also make you want to confront something that has been bothering you for quite some time, for a few days, weeks. Here, generally, communicate. I would be mindful when communicating, especially about topics of a complex nature, because your words carry a lot of weight and intensity during this time. Now, at the same time, this during this time, you might also have this really strong need to release something that has been on your mind, on your kind of bothering you. So, whatever the scenario, this energy gives you this really strong urge to speak up. Now, just be mindful of not overreacting, because the impulsive energy of Mars in Scorpio, when mixed with Mercury, it can lead to perhaps quick reactions, overreactions, perhaps sending an email, a message that you might later regret, or having some explosive conversation. So try to channel this energy into something purposeful, something intentional as well. As we move forward on the 21st, we've got the new moon in Libra happening on the 21st on Tuesday at 28 degrees of Libra. So this is activating your seventh house of relationships, unions, partnerships. So this energy, this new moon overall is like a complete reset of how you relate to others. So this generally isn't about surface level harmony or balance. It's about creating something real, something authentic, balanced as well. So think about where your one-to-one relationships, partnerships, connections are out of sync, out of balance. Maybe you've been consistently people pleasing in a certain partnership connection. Maybe you have been allowing someone to dominate the conversation recently too much. Maybe you've taken on too much of the shared workload at home or at work. So whatever the scenario, use this new moon energy to initiate something new, to plant new seeds for generally for establishing more balanced connections, relationships, for establishing more harmony in your interactions with others. Now on Wednesday, Neptune retrogrades back into Pisces. So on Wednesday, Neptune leaves your sign and it moves back into Pisces. And here, this is a big shift without a doubt because a slow-moving planet and outer planet changing signs. So this definitely is going to be felt on a deeper level collectively as well. And generally in the upcoming months, of course, this isn't just happening on this particular day. This will influence your life for the months to come until the early weeks of 2026. This is about realizing, because of course, this is about some hidden energies, insecurities, fears, things that perhaps you've consistently told yourself. You might realize that they aren't entirely true. So this could be like a wake-up call, a time when you give yourself more credit. So it's about realizing that it's okay to ask for help when you need it. It's okay to admit that, you made a mistake or that you don't have all the answers, for example. So it's about embracing that authentic, more authentic version of yourself in a way as well. Now we've got a shift of energy on Thursday as well, because of course we're starting Scorpio season as well. So that's on the 23rd. And on Thursday, the sun enters Scorpio. So the energies begin to intensify. And this is activating your eighth house, where we had a conjunction between Mercury and Mars on Monday. And at the same time, we also have a mix of different energies. Mercury and Lilith conjunction on the same day, Jupiter and Chiron square as well. So these three influences, three type of energies, different energies are going to influence our lives on the 23rd. So generally, this during this time, especially with Jupiter and Chiron square and the Sun moving into, so lots of these are complex energies, and these energies could force you to get out of your comfort zone. Generally, this is about facing something that perhaps might be unpleasant, difficult, and hidden things that were perhaps you were unaware of or you've been neglecting. Pushing under the carpet, let's say, they might resurface around this time. So some old wounds, unhealed emotions, for example. If someone has been misunderstanding you, for instance, or perhaps if some long-standing issue may come up to the surface around this time, do not fear the discomfort. Do not run away. Do not hide the way. This is about facing whatever that comes up, facing it with courage, and yeah, because this is first of all how growth occurs, but second of all, it's this is an opportunity to also resolve something that perhaps has been bubbling under the surface. This is about facing whatever challenge that comes up. It's about resolving an issue that shows up around this time. It's not about hiding away. Don't hide away. Face it. Face your fear. Don't be afraid. This is a chance to clear the air. This is a chance to resolve something that is of a complex nature. Now, on Friday, the Sun squares Pluto. So, as soon as the Sun enters Scorpio, it forms a square to Pluto. And whenever the Sun squares Pluto here, this energy could reveal something that was hidden, perhaps some hidden dynamics or secrets, or things that perhaps you were not even aware of. Some control issues or jealousy behavioral patterns in yourself or in others. So this with Scorpio energy and Pluto, the modern ruler of Scorpio here, this is about observing, keeping an eye open on what comes up, what sort of energies surface around this time. At the same time, you might be realizing that perhaps some connections, habits, routines are no longer are out of sync, are not in alignment with the person that you're becoming, and no longer serve your growth. So this is a chance to strategically release what no longer aligns, what no longer resonates. And on the weekend, we've got very different energies. We've got a harmonious trine between Mercury and Jupiter throughout Saturday and Sunday. And this energy gives you this amazing opportunity and a chance to process all the emotions, feelings, situations that occurred throughout the week, trying to offer really, really beautiful, harmonious energies. So here, this is happening at 24 degrees of Scorpio and 24 degrees of Cancer for Jupiter. So here, thank you very much, Aries, and let's have a look at Taurus. All right, so hello, Taurus, and welcome to your weekly horoscope. So we start with Mercury and Mars conjunction in the sign of Scorpio, and this is happening on the 20th at 19 degrees of Scorpio in your seventh house of one-to-one relationships, partnerships, whether romantic, business, platonic. This will depend on your circumstances, but here this is a very energizing transit. And this is about what's fair, what's necessary within your closest relationships, partnerships, for example. So you might have this really strong urge during this time to confront something that feels slightly off in your relationship. Or perhaps this could really urge you to release, this energy could really prompt you and urge you to release something that has been bothering you, something that has been on your mind. So here within these one-to-one connections, relationships. So here, generally the Mars energy can be very dynamic and impulsive, but your Taurus nature, of course, is grounded. Taurus is a fixed earth sign. So don't bottle things up around this time. Here, this energy gives you an opportunity to express what needs to be said about a contract or a mutual goal or perhaps shared responsibilities within your relationship, within the household, for example, without letting it become aggressive, for example. All right, so that's here Monday. Now on Tuesday, we've got a new moon in Libra happening at 28 degrees of Libra. So this energy illuminates your sixth house of work, service, daily life, daily routine. So this is your chance to realize what is out of balance in your daily life, what is out of sync. What feels overly chaotic as well in your work sphere, in your lifestyle, in your health routine. So you don't need a massive transformation here, but what you need is perhaps this is a chance to implement some small practical changes, adjustments without overwhelming yourself. Perhaps this is about redefining your daily schedule, daily life, eating habits. Maybe you want to exercise more, spend less time on the screen, for instance. So even tiny intentional changes and tweaks can make a massive difference in your overall well-being throughout this time. So that's the new moon. Now on Wednesday, Neptune retrogrades back into Pisces, into your 11th house of groups and networks that you belong to, long-term goals and plans and wishes and hopes. So this is a really significant shift of energy without a doubt. This energy generally might make you let go of any unrealistic expectations, illusions that you may have about your social circle, about any future goals and dreams, certain connections in your life. So, generally, you might realize that some friendships in your life are simply draining, or perhaps that a long term group goal, objective, project needs to be readjusted too much reality. Perhaps things are not fully grounded, not fully achievable, realistic at this point, and it needs to be really modified. The plan, the goal, whatever it is. At the same time, on Thursday, on the other hand, the Sun moves into Scorpio. So the Scorpio season starts here on Thursday, and this redirects your energy into the area of one-to-one relationships, contracts, agreements. So here over the next 4 weeks, following the 23rd of October, here the one-to-one connections, relationships, contracts will play an important role in your life. If you have been overgiving, people pleasing, or perhaps avoiding a difficult but necessary conversation, then now is the time to get the courage, the motivation, and address what you truly need. Now, as soon as the Sun enters Scorpio, it forms a square with Pluto in Aquarius. So here, this generally, that's on Friday, this could generally stir up some hidden power dynamics, struggles, maybe some fears, vulnerabilities, control dynamics within a partnership, a one-to-one connection, and a relationship of some kind. We are dealing here with the one-to-one relationships overall, but generally try to stay calm and strategic with under the Scorpio influence and plus with Pluto's involvement being the modern ruler of Scorpio. Here, try to observe and learn and don't overreact to whatever comes up, shows up around this time. Because at the end of the day, here, the Scorpio is a fixed sign, and of course, so is Taurus. So staying in control of yourself, of your energies, can really, really be your superpower at this point. So keep this in mind. And we end the week with Mercury trining both Jupiter and Saturn. So this is between Saturday and Sunday. Jupiter and Saturn will be positively influenced by the energy of Mercury. So this is a fantastic energy to end the week because generally Mercury being the planet associated with mindset, rational thinking, curiosity, and forming a harmonious connection with Jupiter and Saturn, this gives you this amazing opportunity to reflect and to collect your thoughts overall. This energy gives you an amazing chance for finding clarity, for finding practical solutions to issues that may have emerged throughout the week, especially those concerning your work and your future plans. So here with Saturn's involvement, you've got this amazing opportunity also for solidifying any agreements or for creating long-term stability, lasting results as well. So thank you very much, Taurus. Now let's have a look at the next sign and Geminis. Hello, Geminis, and welcome to your weekly horoscope. So we start this brand new week with Mercury, your chart ruler, forming a conjunction with Mars in the sign of Scorpio in your sixth house of work, daily life, daily routines, your health. So this is a very energizing new conjunction, of course, happening in Scorpio. Just let me tell you, at 19 degrees of Scorpio. What might happen during this time? Because of course, this is connected to your mindset, to conversations, to your connection with people from your daily life, daily reality, perhaps coworkers or your clients or someone that you meet at the gym or speak to at the gym, for example. Whatever the scenario here, there is a certain degree of some dynamic, direct energy, highly energizing as well. So perhaps this conjunction could really stimulate you and push you to perhaps start a new health regime, or a new diet, for instance, or it's about trying something new, engaging in some new projects, ideas as well. But at the same time, it might be that someone at your work or a client might push your buttons, for example, and especially about a deadline or some kind of responsibility, or perhaps you may feel a really, really powerful urge to finally pitch a crucial idea that may help you to improve your productivity on daily regular basis. So generally, whatever the scenario, it's not about reacting impulsively, but rather to it's about pausing and taking a deep breath. And it's about choosing your words with intention, because it's very easy to speak before you think under the influence of these energies. But at the same time, because your mind might be really, really stimulated, write things down if you feel like you'll forget them, if you feel like they are important, any thoughts or notes you want to take at work, at a meeting, for instance. Now, on the 21st, which is a Tuesday, we've got a new moon in Libra, and this new moon illuminates your fifth house of creativity, children, romance, joy, happiness, self expression. So, this energy is absolutely perfect for finding more spark, more joy, more happiness in your daily life, daily routines, wellness, activities as well. So a great time for starting new hobbies, new interests, for example. Perhaps you might go on a date or plan a fun day out with your children. So don't overthink it, because even a few hours of something that gives you that sense of pleasure and fun could make such a difference. So that's the new moon. Now on Wednesday, Wednesday Neptune retrogrades back into your 10th house of career and public life. This transit could generally bring back to the surface some unfulfilled thoughts, goals, objectives, maybe a certain degree of confusion about your career, about the direction that you're heading in your life, in your career, for example. So, this is a time of reflection, contemplation, reevaluation, because soon Neptune will permanently leave Pisces and move into Aries. So you might, in the upcoming months, you might realize that certain goals, objectives that you set for yourself in the past, you may have already outgrown some of these goals, some of these objectives, for example. So generally, pay attention and look at where you might be idealizing a certain goal, a dream, or a job idea, or a role, for instance. At the same time, here, this energy, this transit, because let's not forget Saturn is also still here. So this is about letting go of any outdated professional goals, objectives, for example, that you may have had for yourself, but perhaps they no longer align, they no longer resonate. Now we've got a shift of energy on Thursday as the sun enters Scorpio. So we've got the attention turns on to intensity and your daily life, your daily structures, your health. So this is generally when generally Scorpio season usually is very busy for you, because the sixth house is the house of hard work. And when the sun is transiting this area of your life, or of our life in general, then it generally highlights lots of activities, responsibilities, daily duties that need to be addressed, that need your energy. And very often we need to implement more efforts and to watch out for any burnout tendencies connected to overextending yourself, or over or working too much without taking a break. So make sure that you take some time for rest, and that you maintain a healthy balance between your work life and your health and your private life. At the same time, with Jupiter and Chiron square, this could be about perhaps someone undermining your authority, someone trying to dominate you during a conversation. So watch out for this sort of tendencies, things that are out of balance. And at the same time, don't let anyone overstep your boundaries. So what's your boundaries here on Thursday? And as soon as the sun enters Scorpio, it forms a challenging square with Pluto in Aquarius. So this could potentially trigger some power struggles, some complex energies in your work sphere, in your everyday life, within your daily commitments, even. So, as I mentioned in the previous horoscopes, whenever Scorpio energy, Pluto energy is highlighted and activated, this is about taking a slower, perhaps observing and responding strategically rather than emotionally or impulsively. Now we end the week with a harmonious trine between Mercury, Jupiter, and Saturn. So this energy can really, really help you to ground your thoughts, collect your thoughts, find clarity in matters, things that perhaps felt slightly chaotic and clear throughout the week. And it's a good energy for finalizing any decisions, for signing agreements, and for generally committing to ideas, goals that are sustainable, that are lasting. So thank you very much, Geminis. And let's have a look at Cancers. Cancers, welcome to your weekly horoscopes. So here we start this brand new week with Mercury and with Mars conjunction in the sign of Scorpio happening at 19 degrees of Scorpio. So this conjunction is happening in your fifth house. And the fifth house is the house of children, the house of creative self-expression and romance as well. So here we've got a conjunction between Mercury. Mercury is the planet of our thinking processes, our mindset, curiosity, aligning with Mars, the planet of action, drive, motivation, in the sign of Scorpio of intensity and really really powerful energy. This generally energy can bring a lot of energizing moments, conversations that you may have with others about something that you're truly passionate about, whether this is a creative project or perhaps whether this is connected to your romantic relationship. There's a lot of energizing, honest energy here. This energy brings a lot of passion and it's a very inspirational energy. It's a good time for generally engaging in something that gives you a lot of passion and makes you happy, something of a deep and profound nature, whether this is a spark that may emerge between yourself and another person, whether this is something that you're passionate about, some hobby, interest, project, whatever it is. If someone stands in the way, then you might feel this really strong urge to defend your creative idea, whatever that you what you stand for. At the same time, if you feel emotionally overwhelmed by these energies, try to write things down because this can really really help you to clarify your needs, your desires, what needs to be done. And on the 21st, we've got a new moon in Libra. New moons are connected to new beginnings, new intentions. This is happening in your fourth house of home and family dynamics. This makes it a really wonderful time for bringing more harmony, balance into your home sphere. Anything out of sync, out of balance becomes much more visible under the influence of these energies. It's a wonderful time for a remake at your home. So it's not doesn't have to be like a massive renovation, but perhaps it's about creating more beauty, more harmony within your home surroundings. It's a good time for decluttering, for perhaps buying a piece of art. It doesn't have to be very expensive, but It needs to be valuable. It needs to have a meaning as well to you. And at the same time, this energy could also make you want to perhaps create a more harmonious routine at your home, whether this is planning your week's meals, for instance, or perhaps more consciously scheduling activities at your home, downtime. Whatever the scenario here, this is about committing to nurturing yourself, nurturing your home space. It's about finding inner peace, inner tranquility. Now, on Wednesday, Neptune retrogrades back into Pisces, ninth house. So this is the very, very last time that Neptune returns back into Pisces in our lifetimes, essentially. So next year, Neptune is moving into Aries. We had a little taste of this energy of this transit this year. And here with Neptune moving back into Pisces for the very last time, this transit will make you question your belief system, your educational goals, your life purpose, for example. And this is about letting go, moving away from the ideals, the beliefs, life philosophies that aren't truly yours, but perhaps you might realize that you've adopted them. They've been kind of engraved upon your soul, so to speak. This is about understanding your own life philosophy. You're creating one, something that is in sync with what you believe, with your inner sense of self. So, overall, this is an opportunity for allowing yourself to let go of all the illusions that no longer serve your growth. And this energy could also make you question your educational path, your life direction. This isn't about rushing to make some big and drastic decisions. It's about reflection, realization, a slow letting go, release. Remember, Saturn is also here. So it's not just Neptune, it's also Saturn. So it's a slow moving energy, but slowly and gently you will begin to realize a lot about your own spiritual growth and path and your own beliefs, educational goals moving forward. Now, on Thursday, the Sun enters Scorpio. We start Scorpio season also on the same day. We've got Jupiter and Chiron square as well. So, generally, the Sun in Scorpio really intensifies or will intensify your emotions, your feelings. It's moving into your fifth house. So, it looks like Scorpio season is very much connected to your sense of fun and joy and happiness and creativity, hobbies, interest. Your children will be prominent in your life if you have children. Your romantic side of life is highlighted here as well. So at the same on the same day, Jupiter also squares Chiron in Aries. Jupiter is in your first house. This could potentially bring up some unhealed emotions, insecurities, wounds that will demand your attention. Here, Jupiter and Chiron square combination plus the Sun in Scorpio give you this amazing ability for deep understanding and healing. Now, on Friday, as soon as the Sun enters Scorpio, it forms a square with Pluto in Aquarius. And this could potentially here, because the Sun is in Scorpio in your fifth house, Pluto in Aquarius in your eighth house. So here we've got this energy is heavy, is could bring up some power struggles and some intense emotions and feelings as well. So Try not to overreact or respond too aggressively to any one that tries to intimidate you, perhaps, to any challenging situations. Here with the Scorpio energy and Pluto combination, this is about observing. It's about acting strategically instead of overreacting. Now, the weekend brings Mercury and Jupiter and Saturn trine, which will already start to be felt on Friday, but it will influence our lives, especially on Saturday and to a certain lesser degree on Sunday. So generally, the weekend provides the much needed structure that you need to process the intensity that occurs or occurred throughout the week. So Mercury, the planet of our mindset, our rational thinking, curiosity, connecting harmoniously with Jupiter and Saturn, this gives you this amazing uh, opportunity, chance, if you will, for finding clarity regarding a home, family related situation, or perhaps regarding any emotional decisions that you need to make in the very near future. So this is a chance, this is a good time for making these lasting decisions, for commitments, to committing to something lasting, something sustainable as well. So thank you very much, Cancers, and let's have a look at Leos. All right, so hello, Leos, and welcome to your weekly horoscope. So here we start this brand new week with Mercury and Mars conjunction happening in the sign of Scorpio at 19 degrees. So here, Mercury, the planet of communication, our mindset, thinking processes, aligns with the planet of action, drive, motivation. So this is at the very beginning of the week at 19 degrees of Scorpio. All right, so this is happening. In your fourth house. So the area of your home and family foundations. So, what this energy could overall indicate, that this energy could bring some really intense and dynamic conversations home, regarding your home situation, anything that generally has been on your mind. You might have this really, really strong need to get something that has been on your mind, on your chest, so to speak, to kind of get it out of your system. At the same time, it's a good time for making plans regarding home improvements, renovations, anything to do with home and family dynamics, emotional safety and security. Of course, the energy is really, really intense dynamic. So avoid reacting impulsively, especially if you feel like you're not on the same page with a family member, for instance. Instead, try to channel this energy into clarifying your vision, drafting a plan, for example, for the upcoming renovation. And overall, here, so yes, a great time for brainstorming and dealing with any mentally stimulating tasks, activities in regards to your home situation, especially. Now, at the same time, on the 21st, there's a new moon in Libra happening at 28 degrees of Libra. So that's in your third house, highlighting short distance travel, communication, your mindset, and your sibling, any learning opportunities as well. So this is a perfect moment to generally start a new project. Remember, new moons are about new beginnings, new intentions, or something to do with speech, something to do with a new website, a blog, a podcast, a new connection, for example, in your immediate environment, maybe a new project, some kind of involvement in your community, for example. So Overall, here it's a good time for learning new skills, for engaging in activities of a mentally stimulating nature. So this is remember, this is you starting a new chapter here, potential for starting a new chapter here with this new moon. And on Wednesday, Neptune retrogrades back into Pisces, where it will stay until early 2026 for the very, very last time. So here, this is happening in your area of the eighth house. So the area of shared and joint resources, transformation, deep, profound energy. So here, this energy brings generally a shift, a possible shift, maybe a turning point, because remember, Saturn is still here as well. And what this means is that we've got both Neptune and Saturn influencing, activating this area in these final months of 2026, 2025, sorry. So also think about what is there to be still, that you still want to accomplish, complete, finalize. This is your opportunity, whether this is something to do with a business partnership, your intimate relationship, sorting out debts, some emotional, financial entanglements. This will depend on your circumstances, but you might also see generally illusions, misconceptions dissolve in these final months of 2025. Perhaps you might realize that some financial goals, expectations that you may have had, or some kind of connection or a partnership in your life is not what it seemed. So maybe some financial investment or some kind of financial expectations in regards to any investments or maybe some financial opportunities, bonuses. Generally here, Neptune acts as a wake-up call. You can see things as they are. So it kind of dissolves that illusion or any misconception you may have about these, any financial, emotional entanglements, for example. All right, so on Thursday, we start Scorpio season. It's a really busy day because we've got also Jupiter squaring Chiron. And this energy is very deep, of course. Overall, this energy activates your area of home and family foundations, emotional safety and security. So this is generally the major theme of Scorpio season for you. A good time for decluttering, sorting things out at your home, for resolving any matters that need to be addressed, that need to be resolved, for example. But at the same time here, we've got Jupiter and Chiron square, which would have already been activated around the new moon in Libra, as discussed in the previous video dedicated towards the new moon in Libra. But overall here, so yes, on Thursday, expect a shift of energy. And at the same time, this is also a day when, well, the energies will be really intense, especially since Jupiter is going to square Chiron. We also have Mercury and Lilith conjunction. So there is a lot of depth to in the communication sphere overall. And this is a day to just to not to be afraid to speak your truth. Don't shy away from expressing what you need, what you desire. This is a day to seek clarity. Now, as soon as the sun enters Scorpio, it forms a tense square to Pluto in Aquarius. So really intense energies. I'll say Thursday, Friday, the intensity is really in the air, and watch out for any patterns connected to control or power dynamics. We become much more aware of these sort of patterns during when a planet squares, when a planet connects with Pluto by a square, when Pluto is activated by squares, oppositions, for example, this is when we are more aware of any hidden power dynamics, or any patterns connected to control, jealousy, behavioral patterns. This sort of energy is particularly in partnerships or some joint projects. So keep an eye for these, because it might not necessarily mean that you will behave like this or that you will show these sort of behaviors or behavioral patterns, but they might come through other people, through other people's actions, intentions. So if this is the case, then try to respond strategically, observe. Don't it's a Try to avoid reacting impulsively. Now on Saturday and Sunday, the energy is slowed down because we've got Mercury and Jupiter trine. We also have Mercury and Saturn trine, which is already activated on Friday. So this energy is amazing, an amazing energy to finish the week, because it really helps you to collect your thoughts, to finalize some important plans, ideas, goals. Here, this is about something lasting, and Mercury connecting harmoniously with Jupiter and Saturn also could also bring help you to get solutions, answers to perhaps situations that seemed slightly complex or unclear throughout the week. So thank you very much, Leos, and let's now have a look at Virgos. Virgos, welcome. Virgos, we start the week with Mercury, your ruler, your chart ruler, connecting with Mars by a conjunction in the sign of Scorpio on Monday at 19 degrees. So this is happening in your third house of communication. So it aligns with what your chart ruler Mercury stands for. Of course, communication, your mindset, thinking processes overall. So this energy is really intensifying your communication style. Your words carry a lot of weight here in these initial days of the week. But at the same time, Mars, since Mars rules your eighth house, in the third, in Pluto, in connection to Mercury, this could manifest as you feeling more, communicating more in a direct manner. You might find yourself discussing some important deals, contracts, financial agreements, for example. Generally, communication is quite active, and there could be a lot going on in terms of emails, messages, phone calls, information overload could be very much the theme of Monday. But at the same time, this is a day to speak clearly and calmly, because it's very easy under the influence of these energies to say something or react impulsively and later regret. It's a great day for clarifying your expectations. It's a great day for renegotiating any agreements, contracts as well. Now, on the 21st, we've got a new moon in Libra happening at 28 degrees of Libra, so a very late degree of Libra, which indicates that you might feel slightly impatient, you might feel like you're running out of time, like a now or never feeling could be very much the case. But this is happening in your area of finances, resources, and income. So some new beginnings here are on the horizon in this area of your chart. And this is a great time for setting new intentions around your income, around your earning potentials, capabilities, around your spending habits as well. So, generally, if you feel like you want to implement some changes into how you manage your finances, then even small changes like reviewing your budget, adjusting, maybe if you have your own business, adjusting your pricing, for example, or creating a simple plan to save more efficiently, more effectively, will can make a big difference. Now, this could also indicate that you will be treating yourself to something of value, something meaningful, something of beauty. Perhaps you might receive a gift. So this generally, this new moon is connected to your sense of self-worth and your financial security and stability. And on Wednesday, we've got Neptune. Neptune is returning back into Pisces for the very last time before it fully moves into Aries, the first sign of the zodiac. We had a little taste of this transit this year, and Neptune returns back into your relationship area as of Wednesday. So here when Neptune is retrograde, its energy acts very differently. It's generally this is when illusions tend to dissolve. And for you, these illusions are connected to your relationships with others, one to one connections, partnerships. So, this retrograde, and remember, Saturn is also here. So, this energy could bring clarity to certain partnerships in your life, certain relationships. So, you might notice any illusions, misconceptions dissolving. And at the same time, you might realize that someone in your life, a connection, a colleague, perhaps they are not who you thought they were. Or perhaps this could be connected to a certain contract agreement. And you might realize that perhaps not everything fits in, that things need to be adjusted, for example. So pay attention to what comes up, to what shows up here in your contract with others, in your relationships in these upcoming months. And on Thursday, it's a big day, lots of different energies. The sun moves into Scorpio. We've got Jupiter and Chiron square as well. So generally, we start Scorpio season. For you, Scorpio season is about communication, social media. If you enjoy social media activity, could be much increased during this time. But overall movement, action, travel, communication, exchange of information, learning, brainstorming. So these are all the keywords associated with the third house energies. But here we've got the sun here, so the sun will be here, and Jupiter and Chiron square. So generally, Jupiter and Chiron square, which will be probably influencing your life already during the new moon in Libra, and this energy could stir up some old wounds connected to your sense of self-worth, self-esteem, anything to do with your emotions, emotional side of your life as well. So generally, this energy might make you realize that where perhaps you should assert yourself more effectively, where perhaps you let people overstep your boundaries. Because what this energy wants you to realize is that it's okay to say no at times. It's okay to ask for fair treatment too. Now, on Friday, as soon as the sun enters Scorpio, we've got a square with Pluto in Aquarius. And this energy may reveal some hidden power struggles within your relationships with others, for example. Generally, here, because Pluto is in Aquarius at this point, in your sixth house, the sun is in Scorpio in your third house. So, generally, the way this could manifest possibly is this energy could create a tense situation, a tense moment at your work, in your everyday environment, maybe it could manifest as someone having a go at you for something little insignificant, or someone or an angry driver on the road. So generally here with the Sun and square Pluto square, this is about being more of an observer and trying to react calmly to a complex situation or a tense situation. It's about responding strategically rather than reacting emotionally. And as we approach the weekend and already on Friday, Saturday, the Mercury forms a trine to Saturn, and then which starts already on Friday, and then it goes through to Saturday. And on Saturday, we've got Mercury and Jupiter trine. beautiful energies, very supportive energies that can really help you to gain clarity, especially on your personal life, on your financial area of your life. This energy can help you to collect your thoughts, to see things from a different angle, different perspective, and it can really help you to make lasting decisions, lasting plans as well. So it's a easy flow of energy for your mental well-being, especially since Mercury, of course, is your ruler. So with such good, beautiful, harmonious connection with Jupiter and Saturn, this can really manifest as you feeling more confident, you feeling more courageous as well, more driven. All right, so thank you very much, Virgos, and now Libras. Libras, welcome. So, Libras, we start this week, and first of all, it's a really big week because there's a new moon in your sign. But as we begin this week, we've got Mercury and Mars square. Mercury and Mars square happening on the very first of the week, which is the 20th on Monday, at 19 degrees of Scorpio. This is activating your area of finances, resources, financial security, and stability in your life. Mercury and Mars. Mars is your traditional ruler. This energy could make you generally think more than usual about your finances, about any financial goals, projects that might be on your mind. And at the same time, this energy makes you quite direct in conversations, especially around money. This energy can also give you the much needed clarity around your financial area of your life. Now, since this is all happening in the sign of Scorpio, and of course with Mars and Mercury, there is also some dynamic energy. So if you feel like you're getting into a heated debate with someone at your work or perhaps with a friend, then take a deep breath before speaking, before reacting too intensely. So if you're planning on having some important meetings regarding finance, regarding your income, your finances, money overall, then try to generally prepare in advance. Write down what you want to say if you think that it will help you to stay grounded. Now, on Tuesday, we've got a new moon in Libra happening in your first house at 28 degrees. So, a late degree of a new moon indicates a feeling of urgency, a feeling that you are running out of time. And new moons are about new beginnings, new intentions. And this energy is connected to a possible fresh start around your goals, around your identity, around how you present yourself. So this is a good time for personal rebirth in a way, for starting new personal projects, for changing your style, for changing your hairstyle, for generally reinventing yourself overall. At the same time, this is also a good time for realizing where you need to invest more of your energy and what activities in your life are draining your energy. So you might also realize that perhaps it's time to move away from certain situations or maybe even people that hold you back from moving forward, that drain your energy and make it difficult to achieve certain goals and objectives. Now, on Wednesday, Neptune returns back into your sixth house of everyday life, everyday routine, your lifestyle, your health. So when Neptune is retrograde, this is when illusion tends to dissolve. And remember, Saturn is also here in these final months of 2025 in this area of your chart. This energy brings the much needed clarity around your daily routines, your work, health habits. So you might notice during this time areas of your life, especially connected to your daily reality, where you have been um, overestimating your energy, overestimating your abilities, capabilities, or you might also notice where you have been misreading a situation at your work, at the gym, for example. So this is your chance to generally adjust your schedule, adjust your routine, see what's working, see what's not working, see what needs to be maybe eliminated and adjusted and reassessed and so on, for you to manage your time more effectively, more efficiently on daily basis, for example. What's draining your energy and perhaps where your energy is more needed, for example. Thursday, the sun moves into Scorpio. So we start Scorpio season, but also on the same day, Jupiter squares Chiron in Aries. So a mix of energy. I would say Thursday and Friday, it's a bit more intense than in the remaining part of the week. Scorpio season is generally about, for you specifically, about money, about your financial security, stability, your income situation, maybe a new business or a side hustle or a pay rise. So overall, Thursday and Friday, these energies can intensify communications, interactions with others as well. Conversations may feel more intense than usual, especially since as soon as the sun enters Scorpio, it forms a tense square to Pluto in Aquarius. And this energy could potentially make you see things or certain people, certain interactions with people through from a very different angle. This energy could generally reveal some hidden dynamics, maybe some power struggles or jealousy behavioral patterns. So generally, the energies are really intense. So instead of overreacting or reacting too impulsively, it's better to respond strategically, to observe. Scorpio energy, imagine Scorpio as a Scorpio, a real Scorpio. It's Scorpio observes and then attacks, right? It doesn't attack immediately. So it's better to generally avoiding reactive responses because they will sting. If you can try to, whatever that occurs, if you feel like and there is intensity in the air, if you feel like someone or something, something or someone is trying to make you feel small, then perhaps it's better to react maturely, strategically, and take a deep breath instead of reacting overly impulsively because it can escalate to something unpleasant. Saturday and Sunday, we've got Mercury and trining Jupiter and Saturn. The trine to Saturn is already activated on Friday. So really beautiful energies to end the week. And these energies will help you to clarify any plans, projects, ideas, goals, daily priorities. And they will also help you to clear your mind. And remember with beautiful trine to Jupiter and Saturn, this is also a good time for making lasting decisions, lasting plans. So here, thank you very much, Libras, and let's have a look at Scorpios. Scorpios, welcome to your weekly horoscope. So here this week we start with Mercury and Mars conjunction in the sign of Scorpio, so in your first house, and this is happening at 19 degrees of Scorpio. So as we begin this brand new week, we've got Mercury, the planet of communication, our mindset, thinking processes connecting with Mars, the planet of action, drive, motivation in the sign of Scorpio. So this energy gives you a lot of courage. It makes your communication style more direct. And it also kind of gives this really strong inner desire to release any ideas, goals that have been on your mind. So overall, this is about speaking honestly, directly, but at the same time, it might be difficult to keep things inside, so in your head, in your mind, because there is a strong need to share what's on your mind. So try to use this energy wisely. be direct, which is actually a skill very much associated with Scorpio rising energy, that directness and getting straight to the point. But at the same time, also avoid any reactive or impulsive responses, because it's very easy to respond quickly and sharply as well with that Scorpio essence, and later regret. So think before you speak, and try to channel this intense and direct energy into solutions that rather than conflict. On Tuesday, there is a new moon in Libra. So here, that's your 12th house. So there is a lot of behind the scenes energy. And what this means is that during the new moon in Scorpio, you might have a greater need to withdraw, to reflect, to contemplate, spend time in nature, or perhaps doing something of a spiritual nature, even if it's reading about spirituality or topics connected to metaphysics, doing something spiritual, maybe taking a bath with essential oils or sea salt, for example. So this is a great new moon for releasing what no longer serves you, what no longer resonates, aligns, what is blocking you, what is holding you back. It's a good time for journaling, meditation, and overall for letting go of old emotional baggage or patterns that are holding you back. So generally here of the 12 house energies, it's not about outward action, but rather about mental or perhaps emotional clarity. On Wednesday, Neptune retrogrades back into your fifth house of Pisces for the very last time before it moves into Aries in early 2026. Now going back into Pisces in our lifetime. All right, so what does it mean? First of all, Saturn is still here, as also until the early 2026. When Neptune is retrograde, generally the retrograde phase of Neptune tends to dissolve any misconceptions, illusions here you may have about love, about hobbies, your ability to perform, to achieve, to express yourself, for example. Generally, you may notice any illusions, unrealistic expectations gradually dissolving. So generally, the best way to use this energy is to use it to reconnect with what genuinely brings you joy, happiness, a sense of happiness, whether this is a personal project, whether this is being self-employed, or perhaps going on a date, spending more quality time with your children, for example. All right, so on Thursday is the energies start to begin to intensify as the sun enters Scorpio. So actually for us, of course, myself being a Scorpio rising, when the sun is in Scorpio, it's generally we feel more alive. We might feel more visible, more outwardly, even though with Scorpio energy, there's still that privacy that needs to be maintained always to a certain extent. But here, Scorpio season brings more visibility, more opportunities, and lesser of a need to hide or withdraw or reflect. So that's here starting on Thursday. And at the same time, we also have Jupiter and Chiron square, which is going to be activated already around the new moon in Libra, which could potentially stir up some old wounds and healed emotions. And on Friday, as soon as Sun enters Scorpio, it forms a tense square with Pluto and Aquarius. And here, when Pluto is activated by a tense energy, this can often make us see certain situations, people, connections, relationship dynamics from a very different angle, things that perhaps we might usually perhaps not notice and even ignore. They might actually be revealed and very visible throughout these sorts of transits. So here, whatever energy, tense energy that may come up, perhaps some hidden power dynamics might come up to the surface, or issues connected to trust, vulnerability. This is a chance or a time overall to react, respond strategically. Try to avoid reacting impulsively, especially to themes connected to control or manipulation, for instance. And overall, here, try to observe carefully, release what doesn't serve you, whether this is habit, a connection, for example. Now, as we end the week, starting already on Friday, gently moving through Saturday, we've got Mercury forming a beautiful trine, harmonious energy. Mercury, the planet of communication, our thinking processes, our mindset, connecting harmoniously with Jupiter and Saturn by a trine. So here, Saturn is in Pisces, Jupiter is in Cancer, and Mercury is in Scorpio. So we've got the activation of the water signs. And these energies, these harmonious energies, and here Saturn, of course, being the planet of structure, discipline, order, this can really help you to ground yourself. But also this energy can help you to find clarity, solutions to issues, matters that may have emerged throughout the week. So it's in a way very energizing energy that increases your sense of confidence, and it helps you to create lasting decisions, lasting goals, for instance, or plans. So thank you very much, Scorpios, and let's have a look at Sagittarius. Sagittarius, welcome. We start this brand new week with Mars and Mercury conjunction happening in the sign of Scorpio at 19 degrees, and that's on Monday, the 20th of October. So here we've got the activation of the 12th house, which here is the house of hidden matters and patterns, the private aspect of our life. Since this is happening in your 12th house, with Mercury in the 12th house, very often we become more of daydreamers. We take slightly slower to share what's on our minds, to express our feelings and emotions. But when Mercury and Mars combine their energies in the sign of Scorpio in the 12th house, this energy can act as a trigger to some conversations. So pay attention to how you communicate, how you get your message across on Monday, because your words carry a lot of depth, a lot of meaning, a lot of intense, powerful energy. But at the same time, it's a good time for clarifying your needs, your expectations, or the expectations you may have of others. So if you feel like you're getting into a hot, heated debate conversation, try to pause or take a deep breath before responding. On Tuesday, on the other hand, we've got the new moon in Libra happening at 28 degrees of Libra. So this is happening in your 11th house of friendships, groups you belong to, anything to do with your network, group collaborations as well. But also this is the area of life connected to your dreams, to your hopes, to your long-term goals as well. So new moons are connected to new beginnings, new intentions, and this is a good time for creating a vision map, for thinking about your future plans, future goals, whether they still align with the person that you are becoming. But at the same time, this is also a good time for connecting with people who share similar values, who share similar interests, similar vision to yours. You might find yourself joining a new group, or perhaps becoming a part of a group project, for example, as well. It's all about interactions with others, group involvement, your network, and your goals and objectives for the future. On Wednesday, Neptune retrogrades back into Pisces, into your 4th house, where Saturn is also staying. And this energy will influence your life through to the early 2026, when when Neptune is retrograde in Pisces. This energy tends to dissolve any illusions, misconceptions we may have about the area activated by this transit. So for you, that's your fourth house. So this energy could indicate this is retrograde, could indicate potential shifts in the area of your home, in the area of your family, even in the area of emotional safety and security. So here, perhaps things, perhaps your expectations in regards to some home and family related projects, goals, for example, might not seem realistic anymore, or perhaps you might realize that you may have too high expectations of your family members, or perhaps you may notice some illusions, unrealistic expectations dissolving gradually. Perhaps a family situation isn't what it seemed, or perhaps your expectations around your home life need to be adjusted, reassessed. This is a time overall to reflect. It's a great time for journaling. It's not a time to rush too quickly with major decisions, ideas. It's about taking a more of a gradual approach. On Thursday, we start Scorpio season. The sun moves into Scorpio, and we also have Jupiter and Chiron square. So here, this energy could, because Chiron is in Aries, Jupiter is in Cancer, and the sun enters Scorpio, your 12th house. So Scorpio season might be a time when you might find yourself reflecting, contemplating, needing more time to recharge your energies, to rest. And here, if you've been working too much recently, if you've been not dedicating enough time towards your well-being, then here during Scorpio season you might have this really strong need to recharge, to go on a detox as well. And here, as soon as the sun enters Scorpio and Jupiter connects with Chiron here, we've got the sun and Pluto square. So overall, Thursday and Friday, these are the days when you especially need to stay grounded. Stay grounded in what truly matters to you. Here, the Sun and Pluto square could bring up some intensity, could also generally this energy could make you feel more sensitive than usual to external influences, or this energy could also bring up some insecurities to the surface that are holding you back. So this is a chance to release what no longer serves you, but at the same time, with these sort of energies, it's a time to act strategically. It's not a time to act to respond aggressively or reactively. Here, this is a time to observe, act strategically, and whatever that comes up shows up during this time, whether some unhealthy patterns, or perhaps you might realize that certain connections in your life, they have fulfilled their purpose, they no longer align, they're draining your energy. So this sort of energies could generally come up to the surface, make you realize what's in alignment, what isn't, what needs improvement, what you need to let go of. Now, Saturday and Sunday brings a much different vibe as Mercury connects by a trine with both Jupiter and Saturn. The trine with Saturn will be already activated on Friday, so this energy brings much needed clarity. It can help you to clarify certain situations, relationships, dynamics that may have triggered your may have triggered you throughout the week. And at the same time, this energy throughout the weekend can help you to ground yourself, to clarify certain situations. It can help you to get solutions to matters that perhaps seemed overly complex throughout the week. So here, with Mercury being the planet connected to our mindset, our thinking processes, connected harmoniously with Saturn and Jupiter, it can create really well-balanced energy, can help us to think clearly, It can help us to make much better decisions as well. All right, so thank you so much. And let's have a look at Capricorns. Capricorns, welcome to your weekly horoscope. We start this week with Mercury and Mars conjunction happening in Scorpio at 19 degrees. And this energy can trigger some intense conversations. Of course, Scorpio is the sign of intensity, of transformation, regeneration. And with Mercury, the planet of communication, our thinking processes, our mindset connecting with Mars, this can really, really intensify your communication style. Scorpio, this is your 11th house of friendships, of your networks, of your future goals and plans. So this intensity, these intense conversations can manifest in some group dynamics. It could be with a friend, it could be in a social situation, but it could be at work, in some group project, a joint project, for example. So this is a day to speak clearly and calmly, because it's if someone oversteps your boundaries, you might easily react impulsively. But this sort of responses might generally might get you into an unpleasant situation. So try to use this energy to clarify what's unclear, to clarify your expectations, to draft a project, to draft a plan, to negotiate. Because we are still in Libra season, which is very much about meeting halfway, harmony, balance, justice. And on Tuesday, we've got a new moon in Libra happening in your 10th house of career, your public life, public image, long-term ambition. So this is a time to start new projects connected to your professional path, to your life direction. It's a good time for starting new projects, ideas, for setting intentions, for starting new businesses. Maybe you're starting a new job, or perhaps you have an interview, or you're starting a new journey in your professional life. Whatever it is, with this new moon, you have this amazing opportunity to take charge of this area of your life. This new moon is amazing for planning your future, for brainstorming, for networking, for getting yourself out there, because this can give you a lot of control and clarity for the coming weeks. Now, on Wednesday, Neptune retrogrades back into your 3rd house of Pisces, and here Saturn is still present here, your chart ruler. Now, when Neptune is retrograde, it acts very differently to its direct motion. This transit can bring clarity, especially when it comes to some short-term projects, any connections, communications, for example. You might notice any illusions, misconceptions around emails, conversations, or even small tasks dissolving. And at the same time, this is a time also, it's not a good time for just jumping too quickly into new ideas, new goals, new projects. Try to reflect before you engage in something brand new here, especially connected to any mentally stimulating activities, projects. Reflect before making any major commitments in these final months of the year. And at the same time, try to keep track of any details. And definitely here, keep an eye on small print and small details as well, while Neptune is retrograde here with Saturn. Now on Thursday, we start Scorpio season. As soon as the sun enters Scorpio, it forms a square to Pluto in Aquarius. So there is tension in the air, especially Thursday, Friday. You will feel these energies most intensely. So also pay attention to how you speak, how you explain things, how you communicate, especially at your work, how you get your message across. I think sometimes it's better to observe under the influence of these energies and try to communicate as strategically as you can and stay away from conflict. The energies will be quite intense during this time. Now, Saturday and Sunday, and here we've got Mercury and Jupiter and Saturn trine. And the Mercury and Saturn trine will already be activated from Friday, so it will smooth out the intensity between Sun and Pluto square. But overall, here, Saturday especially, we've got this beautiful combination and grounded energy between Mercury, of course, the planet of communication, our thinking processes, our mindset, connecting beautifully with Jupiter and with Saturn. This can help you gain a lot of clarity to matters that felt overly challenging, overly complex. Make sure you find some time to reflect, some time for peace and quiet when you can really collect your thoughts, because it can really help you to find solutions to matters, issues, problems that seemed quite challenging. This is also a good time for organizing any tasks, projects, for example, for planning your week ahead, for finalizing any important documents, contracts, for example, for making lasting decisions, plans as well. So thank you very much, Capricorns. And now Aquarius. Aquarius, welcome to your weekly horoscope. So we start this brand new week with Mercury and Mars conjunction in Scorpio, happening at 19 degrees of Scorpio. All right, so this is happening in your area of the 10th house, your career, your life direction, your public image, public reputation. This is all very much highlighted throughout this time. This energy generally makes you a direct communicator. It's a good time for clarifying any important contracts, for example, projects you're dealing with. This is a really good time for brainstorming, for generally if you're involved in some important meetings that require a lot of focus, detail-oriented energy, then this is a fantastic transit for these sort of meetings, energies, because Mars and Mercury conjunction may spark direct conversations with people in your network, people in your professional environment. So choose your words carefully, because you can achieve quite a lot. You can make a very good impression as long as you stay grounded and you aim for understanding and clarity instead of conflict. So stay away from conflict and focus on clarity. On Tuesday, we've got a new moon in Libra happening at 28 degrees of Libra in your 9th house. This energy is connected to new beginnings, new intentions, fresh ideas, fresh goals, anything to do with your learning journey, anything to do with activities, workshops connected to self-growth, self-development, languages, legal matters, passport applications, travel as well. So a great time for generally for engaging in activities that can help you to feel free, adventurous. It can help you to increase your adrenaline in a positive sense. A good time for learning, for redefining your life philosophy, for getting closer to your purpose or rediscovering your purpose, for planning some trips for the near future, for example. So generally small steps during this new moon, like planning a foreign trip or planning a project or setting some study goals, can have a huge impact in the long term. Now on Wednesday, Neptune retrogrades back into Pisces, into your 7th house. So this energy will influence your life through to the early weeks of 2026. Saturn is also here, bear in mind. So here, your 2nd house, this is your area of finances, self-worth, personal resources. So when Neptune is retrograde, its energy acts very differently to its direct motion. The retrograde phase of Mercury generally it helps us to see things through the real colors. So you might notice some unrealistic expectations dissolving, or some kind of illusions regarding your financial situation. For example, your financial goals, things that perhaps seemed well, you might realize that some things are basically unrealistic, some of your financial goals, or perhaps you might realize that they can't be achieved at this point in your life, but maybe at a later stage. This is an opportunity to reflect what's working, what isn't, and what necessary steps you can implement to strengthen your financial security in your life. Right, so the sun enters Scorpio on Thursday. And this is when we start Scorpio season as well. So, Scorpio, that's your 10th house. So, Scorpio season will be a time, a very ambitious time, a time when you want to achieve, a time when you want to reach your goals, and when you might feel more visible, more noticeable. You might have more energy to generate, to create, to more motivation to make progress, to reach certain objectives connected to your life direction, connected to your career objectives. So this is this only happens once a year, and Scorpio season is the season of your professional visibility. Perhaps this could be about some recognition, or feeling more noticeable, feeling more recognized, feeling more appreciated as well. This will depend, of course, on your circumstances, but overall, as soon as the sun enters Scorpio, it forms a square to Pluto in Aquarius. And this is a chance to let go of any expectations, unrealistic expectations you might have in regards to your career. Watch out to generally any potential power dynamics at your work, or some kind of overly ambitious expectations you might have of yourself, of others. And at the same time, under the influence of these energies, you might also see certain people in your public life career from a different angle. They might reveal their true colors, people that you were suspicious about, especially. So instead of responding, reacting impulsively, if you feel like someone is trying to intimidate you or overpower you, try to respond strategically to maintain your reputation image. Now, Saturday and Sunday brings a very, very different vibe. Mercury, the planet of communication, rational mind, your mindset, thinking processes connects beautifully with Jupiter and Saturn. The trine of Saturn is already activated on Friday. Sorry, so this is a great end to a very, very active, dynamic week, because this energy with Mercury connecting harmoniously with Jupiter and Saturn, this brings clarity. This brings also this amazing ability to ground yourself, to collect your thoughts more harmoniously, and to make generally to find solutions to whatever felt slightly chaotic, out of balance. It's a good time for making plans, for starting new projects, even. Remember the energy between the new moon and full moon. This is the best time for starting something new. After the full moon until the new moon, this is the worst time for starting something new, because this is when generally the energies are kind of coming to closure, and then we are kind of waiting for the new moon energy to emerge. So this is what I've got for you today. Aquarius, thank you very much. And Pisces, welcome to your weekly horoscope. So we start this brand new week with Mercury and Mars conjunction in the sign of Scorpio at 19 degrees. And this is happening in your ninth house. So the ninth house deals with foreign places, foreign matters, anything to do with our purpose, our life direction, foreign travel, anything to do with our life philosophy, belief system. Mercury and Mars conjunction can intensify your communication style. It can bring tense conversations, especially pay attention during conversations about beliefs, religious views, politics here, this energy can really create out of dynamic aggressive energy, even if two individuals, if yourself and the other person are completely on a different page. So this isn't a good time for having these sort of conversations with people that with whom you don't resonate. This is a time for finding clarity. So a good time for engaging in some activities that can help you grow, that can help you to progress in your career, that can help you to learn a new language, for example. Maybe you'll be dealing with some paperwork documents. This is an amazing time for generally dealing with things that require clarity, efficiency, for example. So generally, if you find yourself in some complex situation during this time, or maybe if you're running late to a meeting, then generally take some time to process what's happening before overreacting. On Tuesday, we've got a new moon in Libra happening in your eighth house of transformation, rebirth, regeneration. And new moons are about new beginnings, and it's a great day for setting intentions for the future. So perhaps you're thinking about investing your money, so investments, or taking a loan or a mortgage, or maybe you want to hire a mortgage broker, or perhaps you're seeking guidance from a financial advisor, maybe you're looking for an accountant. So whatever the scenario, you are dealing with these sort of energies, themes, this is a good time for reviewing any financial agreements. Perhaps this is a brand new chapter in your intimate relationship, but at the same time, with the energy of this new moon, it's a good time for letting go of what no longer serves you. Remember, the eighth house is the house of deep emotions, transformation as well, healing. On Wednesday, Neptune retrogrades back into Pisces, into your first house, and Neptune will stay here until early 2026, where Saturn is also currently staying. Here, generally, with Neptune returning back into your sign for the very last time in your lifetime, this energy could make you think, perhaps reflect more often about your life, about your vision, the vision for your life, about your physical appearance, your style, your achievements, your objectives. You may notice that some unrealistic goals, expectations, illusions will be gradually dissolving, because this is the final time that Neptune is returning back into your first house. So whatever is out of sync, whatever is unrealistic, is just going to dissolve naturally as you prepare for this brand new transit in your third house to in your second house to begin. So at the same time here, any illusions about who you are, for example, and they will also dissolve, and you will have a better understanding of the person that you are becoming or have become after the eclipses and Saturn's and Neptune's transit in your first house. So, what can really help you during this time is engaging in activities that can ground your energies. So, journaling, meditation, spending time in nature, for example. Now, on Thursday, we start Scorpio season. We also have Jupiter and Chiron square. So, generally the energies are quite intense on Thursday and Friday, because also on Friday the sun forms a square to Pluto. So as soon as the sun enters Scorpio, it forms a square to Pluto on Friday. So we will feel this energy already on Thursday. So this with Jupiter and Chiron here, with Chiron's square overall here, what might come up, what might show up as a result of these energies, this energy could bring up some unhealed emotions or feelings that may need to be addressed in your relationships, anything to do with boundaries, anything to do with your need to set limits, healthier limits where necessary. And with the Sun and Pluto square, this energy generally often brings up, because of course Pluto is in your first house, the Sun is in your 10th house of Scorpio. This energy could reveal some hidden dynamics, power dynamics, maybe some jealousy behavioral patterns in your public life, in your career life, for example, maybe some control patterns. For example, very often with the squares to Pluto, we see certain connections, relationships, habits, even our own habits from a different light. Maybe you will have some realizations about yourself. Maybe you want to change how you do things, especially when it comes to your approach to reaching your objectives and career related goals. So, here, this energy can help you release what no longer serves you. And it's about acting strategically rather than overreacting. Now, on Saturday, we've got Mercury and Jupiter trine and Mercury and Saturn trine, which already starts on Friday and it gradually develops into Saturday. So we've got a really beautiful energy to end the week. Mercury is the planet connected to our thinking processes, our mindset, communication style, connecting so beautifully with Jupiter and Saturn. It can really help us to find more clarity, inner peace. It can help us to collect our thoughts more effectively, more efficiently, find solutions to perhaps matters that seemed slightly unclear or complex throughout the week. So, a really empowering energy to end the week. And thank you very much, Pisces, and all the best.